On the start of a long overdue backpacking trip. This is one where you guys voted on the secondary knife I brought and the hammock system that I brought. So stay tuned, you'll find out from the voting what won.
BHK knife, the Highlander.
Older camera.
Gosh, man, that's got a wicked edge on it.
Alright guys, I've been dying to get out on a backpacking trip. I haven't been for a while, so I ducked out of work a little bit early and I'm hitting the trail. And as we head up, there's a spot that I've been looking at on the map that looks relatively flat. However, I'm gonna have to break off the trail and hike up the side of a mountain in order to get there. So we'll kind of play it by ear, see if that's feasible. If not, we'll get up there and find a nice spot, set up the hammock, and just enjoy the trip. You can see this tree here, it's just barely starting to bud. So, still early yet up at these elevations. See the Quakies behind there? Right there. Those haven't came out yet. So still chilly temperatures. Probably get down into the 30s tonight. It shouldn't be too bad. So if you see that peak right there, my brother and I did that one a few years back during the summer. Well, that one's a tough peak. It's one of the shorter ones. Ooh, man, is it a tough one. This is a steep part of the canyon too. Like I said, this area I haven't been to in 10+ years, so it's not that familiar to me. So I've got to rely on the map and landmarks to get me to that area. So an important thing when you're hiking up, especially in an area you're not familiar with, is to be referencing your map regularly. And here's why. Your map will show you certain landmarks. For instance, one of the landmarks that the map is showing me is the intersection of these two streams. I know once I hit that, I need to continue forward. If I'm not referencing my map, I may not be aware of that, and I may not be looking for it and completely miss it. It's important to always reference that map so you can kind of keep your bearing as to where you are. Now the other side to that is triangulation. I won't get into that, but just a thought I had as I was hiking up here looking at the map. So the direction I came from was just behind the camera, and that's where those two streams or two little rivers met. So that's that point I was talking about noting that on the map. So now that gives me an idea, a location, exactly where I am on my map. Helps keep me oriented, and I know I have to continue up in order to hit the area that I'm going. Now the reason on this trip this is so critical is because I need to know when to shoot off the trail because that's where I'm going, is I'm going to do some bushwhacking to get to where I want to go. Often how I pick these places is I get on Google Earth and I search an area that I kind of want to go, and then I start digging in a little deeper and seeing certain areas, and I go, oh, that might look interesting, that might look interesting. One thing about this area is I need to hit it early in the year because there's not a lot of water where I'm going. I can come back down to this. I don't know that I want to do that depending on how steep the climb is, but I may have to. My other option is looking for patches of snow that may be around my area. So again, I'm kind of thinking out loud of management of what I have to look for when I get up there, and that's going to be water. Saved it. I was looking too much at the camera, not at what I was doing. Those are a couple of peaks that I've been eyeballing for quite some time that I would like to hit at some point. So to the right of the screen, what you're looking at, so in this direction there's another major peak, and then there's one more to the right. Well, actually two in that little area, and I've hit those in the past, and quite honestly I did take the camera with me, and it turned out to be, I think, one of my best videos I've done. As you probably heard through the video, I've been following this stream up, so I'm at the very bottom of the V in this canyon. But right here behind me you can hear the stream, but this is really great moose habitat. In fact, there's some scat sitting right here, and geez, you know, part of me wants to set up my hammock off up the side of the hill a little bit and just hang out, see if I can't get something on camera. That's a real tempting possibility. Broke off the trail and I'm heading up in this grove of aspens. Lots of blowdown in here. The good side of that is I've got plenty of firewood. It's not going to be an issue up here. Downside of that, camping in here, need to be a little bit careful. Those widowmakers coming down. These aren't big, huge trees, but boy, one square landed on your head, that could do some damage, your leg. So I'll continue up here a little bit. There's a grove of pines up there. I might head for that. Otherwise, at this point, I'm just looking for a place to call home for the night and enjoy. Okay, we got, I think, a deer right through there. I just got a glimpse of it. Given the color, at least what I think I saw, I'm guessing deer. Now what I don't know, in the middle of the camera, I don't think that's it, but that's where I saw it.
So I found home for the night. I actually dropped my pack in this general area. I thought it looked good, but then I took off and chased that deer for a little bit, so that was kind of fun. So now it's time to set up the hammock. I'm trying to talk somewhat soft because I don't want to scare the animals away, just in case. I'd like to get some film of them. I might go wandering around a little bit later. But it's time to set up that hammock. And the hammock that you guys voted on, it was really interesting. So when I did the video, I was watching the comments come in, I was tallying everything up, and the war bonnet was kind of come down and winning, but the Eno was keeping pace. The Eno kind of passed it, and then the war bonnet kept going. I'm like, okay, it's the war bonnet. The more I watched, all of a sudden the Eno got down, overtook the war bonnet, and that was the end of the story. So the Eno setup is the one you guys wanted to see. It's the double nest with that tarp. So that's what I'm going to be running. A little bit more affordable price point than the war bonnet. So tonight will actually be my first night in the Eno in the mountains. I've always taken the war bonnet, the Blackbird, and given my son the Eno. So I'll get to see how that sleeps tonight in comparison to the Blackbird. So whenever I get in the hammock like that, especially after a hike, it's hard to get out. Here's the underquilt. You guys have seen this in the previous vid. Kind of detailed that. Still getting to know this a little bit, which is part of the fun. And this setup might be a little bit different than with the war bonnet actually. So we're just gonna set this up how I think it should be and change it up as we go. Always looking for animals, just in case. Because if I see one, I want to get one on film. Alright, tonight, the way this Eno is set up is you really don't have to run a ridgeline with it. So I'm going to try it that way and see what I think.